So there's an interesting thing going on in the graveyard. We've got very, very cold hands. It's very, very difficult to do magic, especially in a graveyard haunted by Voldemort. Here comes the tour group now. So you can film part of this section here with the grave of Voldemort.
Okay, so if you guys just want to gather in. The name on this grave is not Lord Voldemort, but as I'm sure you all know, as avid Harry Potter fans, Lord Voldemort's real name is Thomas Riddle. Now, if you're a little bit grammar conscious, which I am, you might notice that the spelling of Riddle is a little bit different than that in the book, but this was to allow for the famous anagram, I am Lord Voldemort, from Tom Marvolo Riddle. Superfluous L, take it off, invert the EL. Problem solved. Now, you'll also remember that in the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, there is powdered bone taken from a grave in order to resurrect Voldemort, and that comes from the grave of his father, also Tom Riddle, and here we have buried father and son, both Thomas Riddles. Now, again, as with William and Professor McGonagall, the relationship is really just the name. The Riddle family were a merchant family. They came from Bessborough, and if you walk down, they weren't in any way associated with magic, which is quite surprising, I suppose, seeing as they are the namesake of one of the most powerful wizards in the Harry Potter series. However, if they were associated with magic, they would not be buried here, and in fact they wouldn't be buried at all. Because in medieval Edinburgh, if you were convicted of practising magic, you were not allowed a Christian burial. They would just leave your bones in a big pile. Now, if you were convicted of being a witch, you'd have a gag placed in your mouth, hands tied together and nailed into your knees, and they'd throw you into the water, where one of two things can happen: you sink or you float. If you sank, that was great. That meant you weren't a witch or wizard. Also usually meant you had died. Now, they made attempts to pull suspects out with ropes, but due to the murkiness of the water, it was often not possible to find you. If, on the other hand, you floated, well, what else could this be but the hand of the devil holding you aloft and stopping you from drowning? At which point they take you out of the water, strangle you till you're unconscious, and burn you alive at the stake. And apparently the sounds of you screaming as you're burnt is the sound of the devil leaving your body. But after that, they give you a Christian burial, so fine priorities all in all, really. So if you would like to get any pictures, this does tend to be everyone's favourite stop. Another magic trick to show us whenever you guys are ready. Feel free. You're just like, who's going to be first?
Are you ready for some more magic? Fantastic. If you'd like to form a circle around here and come quite close so you can see a good close-up, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Would you like to see close-up as well? I'm using these cards, which you may be familiar with. They're not that common. They're called Scrabble cards, and they're very, very useful because each one contains a different letter of the alphabet. So I don't know whether any actual words will form, but we'll just see what happens. So I'm going to shuffle these up and get a nice random mix. So it's important that you have, from all angles, views showing a random shuffle and cuts going on, so that we have a very, very thorough shuffle throughout the deck, and we can cut it there again and get a very thorough shuffle. And I think what I should do is get you to cut the deck into two neat piles there for me. Thank you very much. And what I should do is put those crosswise there like that. Whoops, so they don't blow away. There we go. Actually, can you put your finger on there so that they are held down with the wind? So a little bit of suspense before I reveal. Okay. So you didn't move the cards at all during the time that camera was panning, did you? No. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start dealing these out at the point that you cut the deck. So the first letter is V. And then the next one, not surprisingly, is another word coming. There we are. So someone predicted in advance that it was going to say that. Who said here? You did. There we are. Burn her, she's a witch! Yeah, thank you very much indeed.
Right, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little bit spooked, so I think it's time to leave the graveyard. it's about you. You will have noticed as we were walking along, we went past a Potter shop, Potter Coffee. We just walked under Potter Port, and I can see the cogs turning in your head. You're thinking, Potter-o? Potter-o? Potter, is there a connection between the two? The answer is no. Now, you remember I told you how J.K. Rowling had an epiphany on the train back in 1990? Well, one of the first details she decided on was the name Potter for her main character. And to find her connection to the name, you have to look back into her childhood. Now, she was a natural-born storyteller and used to make up stories for her younger sister, Diane. But this was the name she decided on. This would be the name for her hero, her heroic main character. As for the name Harry, there's nothing cryptic about it, it's just her favourite boy's name.
So I'm going to need another victim. Sorry, volunteer. So to choose a volunteer, does anyone know what the word Dumbledore means? Does it mean something? You nodded, that's the victim. Come forward. Come forward. There you are. There's nothing to fear. There we are. So what does the word Dumbledore mean? A bumblebee. Do I have to say it clearly? Do I say it clearly? Come on.
Bumblebee.
A bumblebee, that's right. It's Old English for bumblebee. Dumbledore. It's a very lovely word, isn't it? So, given that, what do you think's in that box?
A dead bee.
A dead bee! Well, it's a bee, and I was going to say it isn't alive, but in a way, it is. And we see there is a bee there. So I'm going to show you all this bee. Now I said in a way it's alive. In a magical way this is alive. There we are. Now I'm going to take this out and you can hold this. What I want is you to develop an affinity with that bee. So if you just feel the presence of the bee. Okay? Now I said in a way it's alive. There is a kind of spirit here. I've got another deck of cards here. Now I'm going to show you these cards first of all so that you can see them. Fan them all out and the camera can see as well, but you can all see. I hope you all get a good view of that. So you can see that they're all different, yes? No two the same. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this a few times so that they're randomly mixed and you won't have a clue which one is which. Even if you were trying to follow that, there's no way you can know which one is which. Now you are going to use Dumbledore, the bee, to find a card. Now this is where the bee is kind of alive because it's going to guide you. Now what I want you to think about is how bees find nectar. But it's not nectar, it's a card that you're finding. So allow it to guide your hand towards a particular card. Okay, so I'm going to fan these out, this time upside down. Now as I do, you just touch with one wing any card. Now, was it this one here? Are you going for that one?
Yes.
Now, I felt like I was partly guiding you there, which I don't like.
Oh.
So, you can have this one if you like, but if you'd like to swap it for another one, it's entirely up to you.
Let's just keep going.
Let's keep going. Okay, well, tell you what, let's have a look at the card that you would have had. Okay, so you would have had the 4 of diamonds here, okay? So you would have had the 4 of diamonds, and we're just going to keep going. So, let's mix them up again. So here we go. If you like to just touch any card you like. Take your time. I'm going to go slowly so that you can actually choose one. Where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go? I'm going towards...
Yes, that way.
Go this way. Fantastic. That one there. Are you sure?
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to swap this for a different one, but are you sure you want that one?
Yes.
You're absolutely sure?
Totally positive.
Okay, go ahead, turn it over, and you can turn it over, and then you can show the camera, and then show everybody. Go on, turn it over. So we have, what is it? It's the eight of spades. Okay, it's an unusual card for an Easter day. You'd expect something like a ace of hearts, wouldn't you, for Easter? But you've chosen the 8 of spades. What was the first one you chose? Was it the
4 of diamonds.
4 of diamonds, and then you changed your mind and had the 8 of spades. Now there's something very interesting here. Now I haven't touched that bee since you've been handling it. Let's take a step back. There's a hinge on the top of that bee. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And it will open. Inside is a secret. Now you have to be very nimble to get this open. There we go. Now can you see there's something inside?
Yes.
Okay, there we are. Fantastic. There we are. That is wonderful. Way. Now, if you would like to take that out, and I'll take the bee off you at this stage. There you go. Now I'm not swapping whatever you've taken out. There you go. Now if you open that out, nice bit of suspense. It's all folded up like origami. And here we are. And what is it? There we go. There we go. Now you're going to show that very clearly to the camera. There we are. Fantastic. Now the first one you had was the 4 of diamonds. So there we go. A complete free choice. There we are. And that's thanks to the bee. So a round of applause to this lady and to Dumbledore the bee. So thank you very much indeed.
Now guys, I'm going to take you all to look at where J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book, but it might not be where some of you are expecting.
Go ahead, you turn it over. There you go. There you are, fantastic. Well done. There you go, so that's good. Yeah, some nice eggs. So here, help yourself to more than one. Go on, grab a couple, have another go on. There you go.